I cannot wait for us to watch Ant-Man tonight. I mean, obviously the movie's gonna butcher the original storyline, but come on, he's like the most underrated character in the Marvel Universe. Hey, screw Ant-Man, man! Let's go to Vegas!
The Venturi fans from Fractal Design make everything cooler. That's right, even you. Check the link in the description for more info.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I've got another vlog for you guys, but it's not going to be focused on my custom water-cooled PC. Instead, I'm going to be building another computer from scratch, from the ground up, for someone else. And this person would be my beloved father, who he works from home, he's self-employed, and he relies heavily on his desktop PC for all of his work and multitasking needs, of course. But lately it's been having a lot of issues, it's been crashing frequently. Shut up, phone! And he's really at the end of his rope in terms of being able to work efficiently and get his work done in a timely manner. So, that being said, I've decided to build him a full new computer from the ground up, and he doesn't know about it yet. This is a complete secret, so hush hush, don't tell him. I know you have complete access to getting in contact with him. But yeah, I'm going to be building him kind of a workstation. He doesn't... I will kill you. The main purpose of the PC is essentially a simple workstation that he can do some light gaming on it if he so chooses. He's not a huge gamer. He plays some really basic, like almost 8-bit type games, so he doesn't really need that much horsepower, which is fine, because basically all the parts that I'm using today, with the exception of one, I believe, are just parts that I have lying around my house that have just been collecting dust and need to find a good home. So why don't we take a look at that right now. Here's a couple of the parts, and you can see no retail boxes in sight, because a lot of them are reused. Let's start with the motherboard and CPU. So this is actually taken from Heather's old system that I built her for Christmas a couple years back, but it's still a really good hardware. It's Ivy Bridge, so we've got a Z77N Wi-Fi board from Gigabyte. So it does have built-in Wi-Fi, which is nice. And you can't really see the CPU because the CPU cooler is already installed on there. I didn't really see a point to take it off, but that's a Core i3. I forget the exact model number. It escapes me at the moment. It could be a 3225 or something like that, but we'll find out when we boot the system on. So that should be pretty good for his multitasking needs. We've also got the this memory kit from G.Skill. This is their Sniper series. Really good stuff, super reliable. This is 1333 megahertz and it is 8 gigabytes, so you get two 4 gig sticks, which should be more than enough for my dad. And then also, like I said, he might be doing some lighter gaming. Maybe he'll get more into it now that he's got a badass system. So for those purposes, he's got a GTX 650 Ti Boost. And I remember this card is more akin to a 660 than it is a 650 Ti, so it definitely still packs a punch. Obviously, it's a lower-end card nowadays, but should still be quite enough for my dad. And last but not least, we've got the Node 202. Now, this is probably the newest, freshest component in this entire system, and it's also probably the most important. Apart from it already having the pre-installed 450-watt 80+ certified power supply in here, which is SFX. This is really important to have a case like this for my dad because he's really limited on space. He does have a pretty large desk. It's actually much bigger than mine, but he needs that space to be utilized for other things like paperwork and his monitors and stuff like that. So he's got a little cubby hole underneath his desk that he's currently keeping his main system, and so this is going to slot inside of that, and the cubby isn't really that big, so he's going to need a really slim form factor case, and I think the Node 202 is going to do a fine job, because even in the enclosed cubby space, you've got a lot of open ventilation for your video card, your motherboard area, and stuff like that. So I think he's going to be pretty happy with this situation overall. But wait, Kyle, where's the storage? What is he going to save all of his precious files on and stuff? And where's the OS going? Well, I'm glad you asked that. That's actually the one item that I have still waiting for me at Newegg's will call. I just ordered it this morning. It's the WD Black Squared. It's their dual hybrid drive. I shouldn't say hybrid, but it's a dual drive in a small 2.5-inch form factor, which includes a 120 gig SSD as well as a 1 terabyte hard drive. He is going to be using an external drive. He told me this personally. He's going to be using an external drive to store his backups and things like that. He opted for that instead of a RAID solution, which is totally fine. So I'm going to have to be picking that drive up later today and putting it in here before I hand it off to him and blow his mind. But that being said, I'm not going to wait until I have that drive. I'm just going to start building because I can get 90% of this stuff in here before actually hooking up any storage devices. So why don't we put this thing together and make some people happy? Or just one person, but still, it'll be fun. so I reached a pretty good stopping point here, and this is pretty much as far as I can go until I get that 2.5-inch drive and I can install it in this little compartment right down here. There are some tie-down points on either side, so I'm not going to be able to really tidy up the cable management until that drive's installed. But for the meantime, here's a look at everything else. Sitting pretty. I've got the video card in there, even though I'm going to have to take this out eventually when I install the drive, just because it's a little bit in the way, and I'm going to have to route some cables and do some more management there. But overall, pretty smooth build. The reason why I opted for a WD black squared, I've never used one before. This is the first situation where I was like, this drive makes sense. And that's because even though you do have two slots for 2.5-inch drives in this Node 202. I just wanted to minimize the number of cables that I had to use, so I could just tuck them away here and just kind of, you know, reduce the amount of cable clutter overall in the build. So I think that's going to work out nicely, only having one SATA cable for data and power. And also this case doesn't support 3.5-inch drives, so obviously a 2.5-inch drive was the only solution. Yeah, I think it's going to work out pretty well. As soon as I have that installed, I'm going to be installing Windows 8.1 on here, and then I think my dad's planning on upgrading to Windows 10 very soon after that. Apart from that, the cable management in here so far is looking pretty good. Obviously, it's really tight. You can see up here I've just got barely enough clearance for the side panel to go on for the rest of the enclosure, and it's just kind of like really just cramming in here between the power supply and the RAM modules. But it is enough room. It's very tight, but that's, you know, one of the sacrifices you make when building in a small form factor case like this one. But overall, pretty sweet. I think it's time for a test boot, unless there's anything else that I have to say about this thing. Other than that, oh yeah, I did want to mention that the RAM modules, even though the Sniper series does have some fairly tall heat spreaders, it's not low profile by any means, it still manages to fit in here quite nicely. I will say you do need a low profile CPU cooler, and you can see here I'm just, as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm opting for the Intel stock cooler right there. It should be quiet enough. Like I said, it's going to be underneath my dad's desk. That's where he wants to put it. I know it's his decision. I know not all of you are a fan of that. But I think this is going to be fine. It's not going to be too close to him or very audible, so I don't think it'll be too distracting for him. And some of you might already know this, but might be wondering, how did I get this video card installed here when the PCI slot is clearly right here on the motherboard? That's basically a little riser card that Fractal uses. They actually use two riser cards. So there's one that's sticking vertically, or perpendicular to the motherboard right here, and then you've got a second one that goes parallel to the motherboard that connects to that first one. And then that's when you install the video card itself. Pretty tricky and very clever, innovative solution that works really nicely. Alright, enough of my rambling. I'm going to turn this thing on. Let's do a test boot. Obviously we don't need any storage drives for that, so let's see how it goes. LED, I got the LED light, that's always good. CPU cooler fan is good. And I guess the only other indication for power here would be the GPU, but of course we're going to have to go to the other side to see that blower style fan. Hopefully it's all good. Okay, it's actually impossible to see through this this dust filter here, but I can barely hear it. It's very slightly audible, but I can tell that it is on. I can feel some of the cool breeze being sucked off of my hand. Exhaust my hand. My hand's hot. Yeah. Dissipate that shit. Yeah. Alright, so I think this is okay to say. We've got a successful boot here. I'm really excited to finishing this thing off with that 2.5-inch drive, getting Windows 8.1 installed, and then finally doing the long-awaited surprise drop-off. Should be good. Alright, so it has been about an hour and a half since the last clip that you just saw in this video, and I still have yet to receive my confirmation email from Newegg notifying me that the hard drive that I ordered this morning is ready for pickup. So, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty much stuck. I'm just playing the waiting game until I get that email. And as soon as I do, I'm going to haul ass over to Will Call and pick it up. I guess I'm kind of just twiddling my thumbs here until I get that email, so I guess I'll play some Rocket League. I got the email. It's ready for pickup. All right, let's go pick this thing up. Do you ever get those deep thoughts when you're driving in your car all alone? Yeah, me either. Don't close, I made it! I made it! Alright guys, and here is the finished system. Finally with the hard drive installed, or the dual drive I should say. And here's a good look at the back of the case. You've already seen the inside for the most part, but it's up and running. Got Windows 8.1 installed. I was actually incorrect about the CPU model. It is a Core i3, but it's a 2120. So not quite as powerful as I thought it was, but it should get the job done. You can see there we've got full 8 gigs of RAM. Yes, everything is looking beautiful. And I'm happy to report that the WD Black Squared drive is working correctly. So there's your 120 gig boot drive, along with that 1 terabyte mechanical. Absolutely beautiful. And I think that pretty much wraps it up for the build, vloggity. So I think on that note, we should wrap this thing up and surprise the crap out of my dad. All right, moment of truth. See if he, see what his reaction is. I'm really curious what his response is gonna be. He can be kind of like a stone wall sometimes, like hides his emotions pretty well, but I think this will really catch him off guard, to say the least. What do you think, honey?
Yeah, I think he'll be very surprised, especially because he just sent you an email today explaining to you that he needed a new computer, and you just so happened to be doing this giveaway to him.
Yeah, I actually forgot to mention that to you guys. So this morning I woke up and I didn't really have a video in mind or planned for this weekend, and I thought, I'm gonna build my dad a computer. That's what I'm gonna do today. And like not more than an hour later, he emailed me completely coincidentally and basically just listed out all the things that he wanted in a computer. And it was like the perfect roadmap at the perfect time for me to actually go through with it and find him all the parts that he needed and make sure that he gets a system that's really tailored for his needs. So I mean, just wow, I was pretty shocked and amazed that that it all worked out so well. But here we are. What is this? Maybe 7-8 hours later, after the seed had been planted. And you know what? We're gonna go around the back. We're gonna go around the back way so he doesn't see us coming. Whoa, sneaky.
Very sneaky.
Hello?
Hey, Mom. Okay, is he in his office?
No, he's in the living room.
All right. Well, we're parked right around the corner, so we're just gonna walk up and walk in.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, honey.
All right. We'll be right there. Bye.
Oh my God!
All right. Let's do it. How you guys doing?
Nothing, just relaxing.
How's it going? Good. I've got a special package delivery of a new computer for a Sean
No way.
dad-ish thing.
No way.
Yeah, I just kind of found this. It's a perfectly good PC. It needs a home, so.
Can you believe that? He
Click on
built
the
that.
switch.
He built that today.
Wait a minute. Now that's for me?
This is for you.
That's what we were talking about.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
This has everything you need.
Well, I'm just gonna say goodbye to you.
Well, no, don't do that. Keep that. There you go. Take a look.
Wow.
No, it's awesome.
This is just
Flashy.
This is sexy.
That's very sexy.
What is that? My brain can't comprehend this.
And then we all went out for milkshakes. Okay, so that didn't happen. But it was a very fun rest of the evening, and I got to power the system on and show it to my dad, get him familiarized with the OS. We even got to install a couple applications that he'll be using for his day-to-day work needs, and they, sure enough, loaded super fast and booted up really quick on that SSD, which he was pretty amazed by. Overall, it was a pretty cool experience for him, I'm sure, as well as for me, and hopefully for all of you. I'm sorry I couldn't get more B-roll shots of his old system, but after he's finally done loading all of his software and files onto his new system, maybe I can take a look at that old one, crack it open, see what he was working with. If you guys are interested in taking a look at his old computer, leave me a comment down below and let me know so I'll know whether or not I should do a video on it or something like that. But yeah, that's gonna do for now, guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned. This has been really fun. Stay tuned for more tech videos coming really soon. Feel free to... Jesus, people always speeding around here. What's going on? Be sure to stay tuned for more tech videos coming really soon. Toss me a like on this video, guys, if you enjoyed it. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Till next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Oh, it's time for some Rocket League.